Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host of the podcast Leaders with a Heart. But today is not going to be about Leaders with a Heart. I had the pleasure and the honor of having Lynn as one of my first guests a few months ago. We talked about something that she's very passionate about. But this is not about this. It's something about a topic that we cannot afford to ignore any longer. As I just was telling to her just earlier, just before going live. For the longest of time, I've been, almost like an ostrich with my head in the sand, just completely trying to ignore what's going on in the world, especially financial world. And we're going to be talking about something that it would be foolish, it would be financial suicide to ignore moving forward. It's about cryptos and how it's affecting and shaping not only just the financial world, but also our world for every single family. And this episode is going to be is when he called Cryptos with a Heart. I like the sound of it. So we're going to talk about that because for us, it's good to make money, but also it's not just the money, but it's the impact because, the more we make money, the more we can have an impact. So that's what's going to be about. So again, Lynn, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today. Welcome on the show, my friend.
Thanks so much. It's so awesome to be with you again and follow your journey and everything that we've been doing. But I will say your Leaders with the Heart podcast is amazing.
Thank you.
And really, we can put crypto right in there because as we
Absolutely.
talked about last time, having wealth and having money, there is never enough. As long as there's a hungry person, as long as there's somebody that needs to be fed or rescued, we need to make sure that we have the upper hand where the finances are concerned. So this is just one more step in that direction. So I think we're still right on par with your regular message.
Oh, absolutely. And something I have to say that you're the first person that is a repeat on my show. That's something quite remarkable. So there you go. That shows how much of not only because we've been friends for a few months, and I've been following your journey on Facebook and always seeing you posting very positive, but also you're crushing it when it comes to the financial world. So we're gonna talk about that. But before we start, I just wanna give this something I need to say. This is what we're going to be talking is not financial. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a lawyer, so it's not financial advice. It's just for education purposes. So if you do follow any of the advice we say, it's your decision. So again, this is not financial advice. Just want to make that clear. I'm sure Lynn, you will confirm that as well. So yeah, just want to make that clear before we even start it.
Absolutely.
All right. So super excited about this. So before we start, tell us about how how did you get started with cryptos? How long have you been in this world?
Well, and this is why I'm not an advisor because I'm new. Like a lot of
Mhm.
people, I'm new. I heard about Bitcoin probably when it came out. It was just kind of like, when you're in the entrepreneurial world, you've always got friends that are doing something fringe, right? So
Mhm.
I remember hearing about it. And then I remember a friend of mine had gotten into Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about this also in a little bit. She got into buying Bitcoin with somebody else, like some
Wow.
kind of pool or whatever. I don't really know what it is, but I see people doing that now too. And they put in a lot of money. And this was like 2017 or something like that, when Bitcoin was about $8,000.
Wow.
It's really ironic as I thought $8,000, is everything wrong with there's no way. And then she ended up, it was going up. So she was making a lot of money. And then whoever that pool was or whatever that was, they lost it all. And they had quite a bit. But my
Wow.
understanding of it was that you had to buy a whole coin. You had, like there was a lot of things that were totally different. And so last year, started learning more about it, started getting into the trading world and trading currencies and things like that. And of course, cryptocurrency is a currency. And so it
Yes.
really started smacking me in the face. Um, and so I think it was around, oh, I don't know, it was September. Yes, it was September. It's really ironic because I just found these notes about 2 months ago that I had written, like, you have to do this by September 30th, which of course I didn't do it because it was still unknown to me. and probably left a lot of money on the table by not taking that
Oh yeah.
advice of those things I was supposed to do by September 30th. But yeah, you know, we all get where we're going at our own pace. So who's ever listening to this message, if it hits you and it's the right time, it might be the catalyst that you need to do a little bit more research. And absolutely, I am not an advisor. I'm not even going to be giving any advice. I just talk about my journey and what
Exactly.
I've been through on the process, and then encourage you to do your own research. And if there's a few things that I can guide you, like where I found things and where I learned, then that's what this is about. And I know that's what you meant, Payman. So
Yes, awesome. So before you got into involved with cryptos, what were your views about the crypto wars and Bitcoin before you started getting into it?
you know, I didn't know anything, so I didn't have a negative opinion other than my friend losing a bunch of money, but that was about the way that she got in it. But it was very, very, very confusing to me, and so I just stayed away from it. I just
Exactly.
didn't know anything about it.
Same as me. Okay. So tell us what is cryptocurrency?
So cryptocurrency is there's a lot of things that people call crypto or cryptocurrency, and not all of it is actually currency. But it is a different form of currency. It's digital, which is another thing that pre-pandemic might have seemed really strange to people. But as we know, we've been using credit cards for over a year now. I mean, a lot of us have used credit cards pretty much exclusively almost anyway. Not my husband. He's still Mr. Cash Man. He always likes to have cash. He doesn't like to have a record of, going to the grocery store. I don't know. He just he just likes cash. Um, but I don't carry cash. I'm one of those people, and that was another thing prior to pandemic. Right as the pandemic was coming down, I went to the bank and I took out thousands of dollars in 20s, and hid it under my mattress because we didn't know what was going on. Um, but yeah, it's just a form of currency, and it actually is
Yes.
finding its way in the real world as we speak. I mean, a
Hmm.
big thing that we can just talk about right now is Dogecoin.
Oh yeah.
Elon Musk, Mr. Tesla man, Mr. SpaceX man, he's huge into the Doge community,
Is
and
it is it
every time
trolling? Is it doing it to troll because is a big troll sometimes, or
I don't
is he
think so.
really all in?
I don't know that okay, so we're going to talk about the difference between Doge and maybe Bitcoin and some other coins. Doge started out as a joke. It
Yes,
was a
I know that.
meme of a dog.
Hmm.
It was a joke, and the community. That's another thing with cryptocurrencies and things like that. They get a big community behind them. So I do believe it's not a joke to him. He is talking now, should he accept Doge to buy Teslas? And then we have people like Mark Cuban, who owns the Dallas Mavericks, and he's accepting Doge at his stadium.
Wow.
So you want to go to the game and buy a beer and hot dog, you can pay with Doge. I have my
Nice.
theories on that. I don't think anybody has said this, so don't quote me. But one thing that I think is maybe they're collecting everybody's Doge because it's fun, and then they'll go put it into a more stable coin. And then we're coming right off of Saturday Night Live with Elon last Saturday, which is a couple days ago, and I,
Yes.
for one, was one of those people that were caught up in the hype, thinking, "Oh, this is going to really make it go up." And you literally during that hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever that he was on the show, you could see the chart. And I actually posted it on Facebook. It just went boom. It dropped from like, I think it
Yes.
was 68 cents
I'm
a
looking at it
coin when
right
he
now.
got on. Yeah, 68 cents when he got on, and it went down to 44 cents before he shut up. And I'm not quite sure. I don't have a television. I haven't had a television in
Yeah,
about 8 years.
same here.
So I didn't watch it live. I didn't watch it on YouTube or whatever, but I did watch the charts. And I did pick a little bit more up, which was really stupid. One thing that I'm going to tell you is anybody that's investing in anything, if you're hearing about it on the news, you're too late. And I
Yes.
know that. I know that. I know that. I know that. And yet I still bought some more Doge that day.
Actually, I heard the other day I was looking. I've been watching a lot of videos on cryptos for the past week or so, and there's one quote I can't forget who said it, but that really caught my attention. It said, um, "Buy the rumors, sell the news." Meaning, once you start hearing from it from your close friends, buy it. But once you see it on the news, it's time to sell. It's so true.
Yeah, or
Buy the
hold.
rumors, sell the news. So true.
So we do have different things, altcoins, or which are alternative type coins, with like Doge, or There's several. Bitcoin is a stable coin. That's the granddaddy of all coins. And it was created, I think, back in 2009. And we don't know if it's created by one man or a group of people. And Satoshi
Nakamoto. We did have been watching some videos lately, and of course you hear a lot of crazy theories. One of the theory was that it's not created by one person, but could be by some organization. Probably it wouldn't surprise them. They were claiming, to put it past, if it was created by, say, the CIA and FBI and other intelligence community as a way. I mean, everything is possible in this world. Is that crazy?
Yeah, I don't know where it was created. I don't know, but what it did was open things up. And so I have my own theories on CIA and all of that stuff. So there's also, I have friends that are totally against it, but like other coins, they like some of the other more stable coins, which would be like Ethereum. And so Ethereum has its own coin. It's basically just a protocol. It's a blockchain protocol. Okay, so what is cryptocurrency? That was the first question. It's basically a digital currency that is stored on a blockchain. And so what is a blockchain? It's basically a little space in the internet that is locked. It's immutable. Nobody can change that space, and it has to be verified. So what makes currency currency? It has to have perceived value. It has to be easy to carry around. So at one time we used gold and things like that, but gold isn't really easy to carry around. And then that's another whole thing with gold. We go back to 1971, what we did in the US with the gold. But and it has to be easily divisible. And that was another thing. When you bought Bitcoin 8 years ago, or however many years ago, I thought that it was like 2000, like 2013. No, I don't remember when it was that I first heard about it, but it was much later. I didn't know anything about it, probably in 2009. But I thought you had to buy the whole coin. So then when it starts going up to 30,000 and 20,000, I'm still thinking, how can you buy it? But it's divisible. So you don't buy a whole coin. Now, something like that for 68 cents, you might be able to get a couple of coins, right?
Hopefully.
But even things like Ethereum has now hit over $4,000. You can buy that in fractions also. So you just take whatever your country's currency is, whatever you normally trade in, and you can purchase whatever fractional amount of that is. So different coins often have something that they do. Bitcoin has nothing. It's stable. It's been around the longest, and I think it's the most trusted, regardless of different rumors of, too many mines underneath the Three Gorges Dam and they're going to flood, or but it used to be easy to mine it, and mining it is actually, they're just mathematical equations. And so it takes a lot of energy to get the computer anymore. Like you used to be able to just take an old junky laptop and just go in there and it'll figure out an equation. As soon as it figures out that equation and that's verified, then boom, you get a portion of Bitcoin, you get some Bitcoin. The other thing that good currency should have is that there's a finite amount. And that is something that we're missing with all of our, what we call fiat currencies. So most every country in the whole world uses a fiat currency. It means it's not tied to anything. Our US dollar used to be tied to the gold, it was the gold standard. And at that time, they tied almost every other country in the world's value to our US dollar. And then in 1971, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. So what that means now is, you've seen those memes where they just print out money, it's coming out of the machine. I mean, that's literally what they're doing right now. So the value of our dollar is going down. And then there's nothing to back it up like they used to have. For every piece of gold was $1. Another thing that is big, and I'm just gonna throw this out there, you guys have been watching, anybody's watching this is also paying attention to trading and GameStop. You probably heard about the GameStop.
Oh, yes.
You've heard about the silver squeeze. You've heard about different things. you need to, when you're talking about like silver and gold and precious metals, guys, do not own the piece of paper to it. Don't own I don't think they're called stocks. I can't think of the name right now.
Certificate of ownership.
Yeah, but there's another acronym for it, but you need to own the actual silver. And I
Oh,
believe
yes.
that they've been keeping silver and gold down artificially, the value of it. And there's people that say that silver could go up to $200 an ounce. That's another thing. Back in like 2015, I used to think, when I was being told, I started getting into this world of money and getting out of debt and all that stuff. I was told, go buy gold and silver. And I was thinking that you'd have to buy like a big gold block and a big
Bullion,
gold.
yeah.
I had silver coins. I had them, and I didn't realize that that's all you need to do is buy some coins. They're little coins, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, that's crazy. But you can still get real silver. There are times that there's shortages of it, but if you want to hedge your bets against the economy and where it's going, they say silver for spending and for currency if things get crazy. Gold is for wealth. And the same thing, they talk about that with cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is wealth. And some of these other altcoins are for either spending, going to a Mavs game, buying a hot dog and a beer, or using that to come up in value and maybe trading a piece of that in for some profit, and then perhaps putting that into another coin, or even a good idea for some people, say, is to put it into Bitcoin, or some of the bigger ones like Ethereum. We mentioned Cardano is also another protocol, which is trying to do what Ethereum did, but do it faster. And they kind of trying to one up Ethereum a little bit. XRP, which is the Ripple blockchain. And Ripple came under fire by the SEC. Ripple is here in the United States, so it's regulated. And the XRP coin, they tried to say that it wasn't a coin, that it was actually oh my goodness, I'm blanking on my words, a security. And so I think that they're going to end up winning that, but they're already using their Ripple blockchain for, like, the Department of Justice is using it for prison records. And, because
Wow.
these blockchains, you can't change them, like contracts you can change, records you can change, anything, out there you can,
Yeah.
if you could pay someone
I
at the
cannot wait
courthouse
until
to change your record.
I cannot wait until we implement blockchain in every aspect. I only seen it in real estate, but I can't wait until it's brought up into politics and voting, because that would completely solve a lot of problems that we've been seeing over the past few months. A lot of
Yeah,
them.
absolutely. And just the people not understanding what's going on, for sure.
Mhm.
The problem with real estate, I've been a realtor since 1999, is that in the process of the contracts, like, we do have real contracts even prior to closing. And if we we get in with attorney review or escrow time, we can come in and we can change it by a simple fax back and forth and signature. Once you put something in a blockchain, it is immutable. It can never be changed. And so transactionally, I think it could work really well in real estate. But for during the transaction process, I think there's, that I don't know, it would make it a little bit tougher, because it's really easy just to email somebody a contract addendum and go, like, they put their electronic
Yeah.
signature on and bada bing, bada boom. But yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And so, yeah, the other way that, speaking of contracts, there are smart contracts, and there's coins that come out of different protocols that create smart contracts. And so basically, sometimes when you're investing in Bitcoin, you're investing in, and that's where some people might have an issue with it. There's really nothing behind it. But when you're investing in XRP, you're actually investing in helping them create their project. When you're investing in Cardano,
Cardano. Yeah.
Cardano, you're investing in what they're doing also, which is some really great things. But oftentimes, when you hear about these coins, like we've talked about, you've already missed the boat. And so like, if let's say you tried to get into Cardano. Okay, I have a friend named Donna. We say it funny in our house. So when I try to say it in real life, it sounds funny. Cardano, not Donna.
Right.
Okay. When you you're going in there now, I don't know what it was last time I looked, like $1.60 or something like that. And they say, oh, in the next year or two, it could go up to $16, or the next 5 years, it could go up to $16. First of all, nobody knows. So if anybody's telling you that they know what a coin is going to do, they are lying, because nobody knows. You don't know if the project's going to fail. Even if it sounds good, you don't know. You don't know. We don't know. And we don't know what the public's going to say, and we don't know what's going to come out tomorrow. Okay. So anybody that tells you, now there are signs that we can say like, oh, they're heading in the right direction. But by the time the company is headed in the right direction, you've missed that mark of being a hypothetical millionaire. We're not giving out advice here, so we're going to call everything hypothetical at this moment.
I just took
So
off. It just took off. I'm just looking at the chart. In November, it was like 10 cents, and all of a sudden, and that's something I noticed that if you look at especially the major ones, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, around Christmas, that's when they really took off. Why? What happened in Christmas? That all of a sudden they went, even Bitcoin went almost like triple X, Ethereum, same thing.
So I don't know exactly what happened but I can tell you what happens when it does cause certain things to do certain things. So something they might, if you're wondering about a coin, then you go to its website and then you see what their roadmap is. And then you can see where they are, what they've already done, and what their plans are. So like right now, there might be something really big coming up in August for Cardano. And so if Cardano starts going up, it's going to affect other things too. I've got a couple of favorite ones that are really fun because I've been in there since they were born, and they're losing zeros. But when you buy them and you're like, you buy it at 0.0000, and there's like 8 zeros and it keeps moving over zeros, you can see that there's value in that. And the same thing happens when we're on the other side of the zero. When Cardano or Ethereum was like $1,000 not too long ago. Now it's up to $4,000. But one thing that I want everybody to remember, when you have these huge spike ups and they're just going like what Doge did the other day, that's not healthy. That's not sustainable. That's like our real estate market right now. That it's going to crash. So by the time, if you haven't been in this world and you don't know how to read charts, or you don't have a mentor that's telling you what to look at or what to look for, by the time most of us hear about it, it's already in the middle of that spike. There were a lot of people that came in and bought on Saturday for Doge, just in time to watch it crash. And if they put in a lot of money, 20 cents on the dollar, if you put $2,000 in, you lost a lot of money. That's real money that you lose, regardless of if it's a meme coin or not. And so you got to realize that it's fun when it goes up, but if you are somebody that understands the project, and that just comes by going into the world, getting a mentor that can walk you through it. That was my journey. I have an incredible mentor that gives coins, tells us what they are, and then I can go in and I can read their white papers. And I'm going to tell you, when I first started reading this stuff, it was like blah 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 blah. I'm trying to read it. Oh my gosh, I had no freaking clue what I was reading. They can have a really pretty website and still be a scam.
Oh yeah.
But like there's things, the FEG coin, FEG, I guess it's FEG. Some people say FEG, some people say FEG, but I don't even know. But, so their project is to feed every gorilla. And that was one that was given to us. We were told about it when it was just a baby gorilla. When it was an infant, like brand new baby. And that one's been doing, really, really well. And then there was one that came out recently that Elon Musk had tweeted, if there's ever scandal about me, call it elongate. which is totally inappropriate, right? But a lot of people jumped on Elongate, and I was like, okay, it's got a totally inappropriate name, but let's look at what it was. And then it had things in there that I didn't want to sew into, right? Because you're kind of sewing into the birth of this
Exactly.
dream. And so, so a lot of my friends are doing really, really well with that. And so some of these that I'm talking about, you can still get in because they're still infants. My favorite one right now is one called Safe Moon, literally
Yes.
67, 68 days old. And we got in at birth, and it's been an amazing ride. And so every Sunday, the creators, one of the two of the guys, Sam and John, get on. They're on Twitter, so they're easy. You can see what they've got doing. But on Sunday nights, they do a AMA, which is an Ask Me Anything, and they say what their projects are. And it's really exciting to me what they've got coming up. They just put a big billboard in Times Square, not them, the community. The community's doing billboards all over, which is kind of crazy because New York is really anti-crypto. It's really hard to get crypto in New York. So I'm just talking to get excited. What do you think about all this?
No, I'm just soaking in. I'm just listening because for me, I'm still brand new. I'm even newer than you in this, but I've been trying to learn as much as I can, immersing myself. So yeah, I've been following the market very, very carefully. Last week, I tried to open. I mean, open an account with an app that specializes in Canadians, and apparently for them it takes up to a week to validate the account, and it was like last Wednesday, Ethereum was like 3,100, and I'm watching this almost like going crazy every day, like just between Wednesday to today. I said I could have made $900 just on that, but I wasn't able to buy it because my account wasn't activated. So it's been kind of frustrating. But then I've seen I check the market now all the time, and last night I noticed that Bitcoin and Ethereum and quite a few of the coins were coming down very, very, very big, especially Bitcoin lost almost like $6,000 from almost 60,000 to 53,000. I said, holy crap. I'm happy I'm not on Bitcoin right now.
One of my favorite places to go into is on Telegram.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what the name of this, this Telegram is. It's called Whale Alert. And you can go into the Whale Alert and you can actually see
Okay.
every whatever. So if you start seeing people start selling off, this looks like a bunch of Ethereum stuff going on right here. What are we doing? We're transferring from Binance to an unknown wallet. So that doesn't look like a real sale, but like if you can see them unload, like 6 million Bitcoins, you can expect a crash because whales will make a difference. Whales are people that own a whole lot of one Bitcoin, and that's one coin. That's another thing to pay close attention to. If one person owns a whole lot of it, that's the warning sign for what might be coming. And so when you get into the communities, you'll start, there's a lot of them are on Telegram. If you go to CoinMarketCap, I think it's .com. I also have the app in here. I use the app but if you go into, here's what the app looks like, and then it'll tell you like the top coins. If you go into this, especially on the other page, you find the coin that you're looking for. So here we could say like, here's Litecoin. It'll give me the chart, but then it'll also give me I use it online for this, but it'll give me.
This one? Is this one?
Yep, that's it. That's it. And if you look at that online under coinmarketcap.com, then you can get in there. You can see their white papers there. You can see websites and you can see community. So some of them are on Reddit. This one's on Reddit, Twitter, Litecoin I'm on. And then they have their website. So this is how you do your research. If you hear about a coin, now a lot of the brand new babies are not going to be in here yet. Like you're going to have a mentor. For most of the people that are listening to this conversation, at least, you're going to need a mentor that's going to tell you what the contract address is and what their website is. And
So here's the
where
$1 million question. In the seas of all these pseudo gurus and scammers, how do you find a mentor that is legit, that you can really, you can follow and know that he or she's not gonna, try to burn you?
That's a really good question, because there's a lot of them that are out there for their own. I
Mhm.
actually belong to an educational platform, which I talked about last time we were together, and that's where I was learning all this stuff. And we have 3 mentors that have proven themselves to us. So we have tens of thousands of members all over the world that lean in. We have 2 crypto meetings, master classes a week, and then we have and those are like the set ones on the schedule. And then we have like smaller ones. And so really that's how I started learning it. I started learning how to trade. And so you guys, if there's one piece of advice that I can give you, you got to be in charge of your own money. There's no excuse. I'm a mother, a homeschooling mother, a wife. They're the most important things in my life. I want to be a wife first. I
Mhm.
want to be a mom and homeschooling mom. I mean, I also do a lot of other things. So I'm busy. I know everybody's busy, but you have to be in charge of your own money. You need to understand it. And there were so many things that I did not understand. And so learning how to read charts, like I can go on the charts right now and I can have a pretty good idea about what XRP is going to be doing in the next hour or two, simply by knowing how to read the charts. And those are the ones that are on the charts. Not all of the charts will let you trade. Like I can make money by owning and holding the actual coins. And then as a trader, and I can't believe I'm a trader, you guys, this is so like, would not have thought this was me. I can make money trading the wins or losses of these currencies. So when the US dollar, which is now worth about 90 cents on the dollar, I think last time I looked at the DXY, when the US dollar is going tanking, I can go in there and make some money. So I got in a big trade on Thursday with the Australian US dollar, and we have this monthly meeting, which the government tells like how we're doing. And Friday morning, US dollar went like that. I was trading the Australian dollar against the US dollar. I was actually buying the Australian dollar against the US dollar. So all these are things that I would have never thought I could do. But if I can do that, you can. And you need to understand, what is the Federal Reserve? And not just our Federal
Mhm.
Reserve here in the States, for everybody that's listening, what is your country's central bank? Who really runs them? And do they have your best interest in heart? There's a really good YouTube video called Money as Debt. And it's a cartoon. It was done a few years ago. The guy that did this original thing, I don't think it's under his, it might be on his YouTube page, but it's Paul something. I want to say Paul Gauguin, but that's not it. But it's like a French last name, I think, or something. But I love that, because it really makes you understand that they want us in debt. If we
Of
all
course.
paid off our debt, the entire world would collapse financially out there.
Sure.
Decentralized finance in the way of cryptocurrencies and things like that is a way that we can step out of that system. And there is no privacy at all with their money, right? You've got a credit card. Anytime they can close it down. Here's another thing. When you go to use your credit card and you want to buy groceries, it has to be approved. You have to
Yeah,
be approved whether you can spend your money. When
that's
you buy
crazy.
something on the blockchain, it's verified. Let's just start there.
It was funny. Like a few months ago, I went to a bank to deposit a fairly big check, and I had to wait. They wanted me to wait almost 2 business weeks just to have access to my own money. And of course, that doesn't make any sense. I had to escalate that to the manager. Say, listen, I'm not asking for human. It's my money. It's liquid. It's a verified check from one bank to another. Why do I need to do that? And
I
even
know
for
why.
that, even
You want to know
sorry,
why? I know why. Do you want to know why?
go ahead.
I'll tell you why. And it's the same reason why, if you guys, if W-2 people out there are getting paid on Friday and it's coming to you like direct deposit, that money actually hits your bank on Tuesday. But you don't get the money released to you. Now, if you're in a credit union or something like that, a smaller bank, they might not be doing it. Not bank, but a credit union or something, you might get your money on Wednesday, but all your friends are getting their money on Friday. But they have had that money since Tuesday. You know what they're doing? They're in the foreign exchange market and they're buying the Australian dollar against
they make
the
money
US.
on your money. Yeah, I know.
Yes. Yes. And they're making money when you don't have enough money in there, when you're not, like free checking account. Yeah. No, the people that worry about free checking accounts are the broke people. It's designed to keep us broke. And if you don't have enough money in there, then they charge you more money. It's like, dude, I don't have enough money. Why are you charging me more money? Because that's the way the system works. But yeah, they wanted that big check because they can go throw that. There are people that make $250,000 a year plus bonuses that work for that bank and will trade one pair. Will trade one currency pair. And now Goldman Sachs and a couple other people are now getting traders that they want to trade cryptocurrencies. So if that doesn't bring us into the world of more mainstream, I don't know what does.
It was very crazy because at first they told me I was going to take you 2 weeks. I said, no, that's not acceptable. Let me talk to your manager. And the manager, even after really escalating that, they said, okay, we're going to do something special. We don't do for anyone else. You can have it within 2 to 3 business days. That's not acceptable because it's my money. It's liquid. It's verified by another bank. I need to have access right now because I have things to pay. I have things to do. I mean, that's unbelievable. And that's why I'm so, disgusting would be a bit strong word, but not far from it by how the banking system works.
Oh, you should be disgusted.
Because on one hand, when you deposit money, they use your money to make tons of money on that behind your back, and they give you an exchange like maybe 0.01%, and that's provided you have $100,000 deposited. And then when they basically, when you use a credit card, they take your own money, they give it back to you at 20%. That's the most incredible thing that really, how did we even allow banks to get to do things like that? These should be illegal and criminal.
We were frogs in the water, boiling water, right? We were just put in there when it was lukewarm, and we didn't know this was going on around us as they slowly kill us financially. Yeah. So it's crazy. I know we were talking about different cryptos. One of the things I wanted to talk about was something called tokenomics.
Yes, I was about to ask you about that.
And so one of the things that I also love about several of these baby coins that I'm in their movement is something called tokenomics. So they start out with a whole bunch of coins, but these are deflationary coins. We talked about the fiat currency. They're all inflationary. Like every time you get a raise, like once a year, your boss gives you a raise and you're like, woohoo, I got a raise. But what you're not paying attention to is the cost of living is going up most of the time higher than our raises. Okay, so it's all a big joke. But so that money is inflationary. And now our US government is now admitting to the populace, because they're not all stupid. I mean, a lot of them are just too busy to pay attention. But they're having to admit, oh yeah, there's some inflation, but it's just going to be for a short time. You can't pull it back. We're not going to reduce the price of milk. Once you raise the prices of things, that's the next bar. It doesn't go back down from there. But deflationary, decentralized finance is one of the ways that they can do that is like the one that I like, let's just say SafeMoon. For every time somebody sells SafeMoon, they take 10%. There's a 10% tax. And what they do with that tax is they give 5% of it to all of the people that are holding it. So I bought a certain number of SafeMoons, but I have a boat. Like yesterday was payout day or whatever. I was watching, every time I looked at my wallet, there was more. And I mean, like tens of thousands of more coins in there, because there's people moving it around. And the other thing that they'll do is they'll do something called burning. And burning is where they get rid of those coins. So one thing about Bitcoin is it has a very small, finite amount of coin. These other ones have larger numbers. Bitcoin started with a number they were going to have, but that people have to go mine for it. these other ones, the way they're doing it, a lot of them now is they start with like huge numbers, but they're breaking it down, they're breaking it down, they're breaking it down, and they're getting rid of them, which will never come back again. It's like if you had a whole bunch of dollar bills and you just burned them, burned them up. So it gets rid of them. Like you can't get them back. And so, but if you burned your fiat, the government's
Luck.
going to get them back. Just going to
No.
print more, right? And so yeah, that's something to watch out for, which is kind of cool. And we're talking about like how do you make money in or how do you know how to invest it and things like that.
Mhm.
One of the things that I was taught was when you get into any coin or any investment, you want to know what you want to make. So let's say I'm looking at this coin and I know that I want to make $1 million. So I'm going to do a little mathematical equation. I'm going to put $1 million up here. Then I'm going to put that little divided line, right? And below that, I'm going to put the amount of coins that I have. And then that's going to be equal to the price that I need that coin to go to. And
Smart.
before the stuff even starts going, you need to have an idea in your mind how much you want to make and when you're happy to get out. Am I going to sell everything when it reaches that point? Am I going to sell 20% when it reaches that point? Am I going to sell? And then you don't change it. It's just like when I'm trading, I have a trading plan. When it reaches a certain thing, win or lose, I'm out. And this is the very same thing here. So about 3 weeks ago, I had a certain amount of Doge that I wanted to sell. I didn't know Doge was going to do what Doge did. But I was like, okay, it's hitting it now. I'm going to get out, but it kept going up and up and up. So I waited a little bit longer than my plan would have suggested. And then I go to try to get out. So it had gotten up here, but by the time I decided to get out, it had come down a little bit. It didn't come down lower than what I wanted it, but it very easily can. That's why it's really important to not play with those things, right? And then it didn't crash, but it kept going up and up and up. So when it was up to 71 cents, I'd gotten out at like 15 cents, but I got in a long time ago. So it was still a nice chunk of change that I was able to reinvest and do some things. Took out a little bit personally and whatever, but I have no regrets that it went up to 71 cents, because you can't allow yourself to feel that way because the opposite could have happened.
Oh
It could
yeah.
have done what it did to me on Saturday when I invest. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a little more Doge. And then I buy it here at 68 cents and it goes down to 44. That's
So
like,
what do you do in that case? Do you panic sell, or do you
no,
weather the
no,
storm and
no.
just wait until it's gonna bounce
I
back?
didn't. I did it with Doge. I don't know how long it's going to take it to go back up because that was an unrealistic. What I had done that day was gambled. I did
Mm.
not strategically look at anything, and I had to tell my husband and tell my God, I gambled, and I'm sorry. I talked to my Savior, and I didn't talk to him that day. I was like, I'm going to buy some. I didn't talk to anybody. I mean, my husband doesn't tell me what to do, but I tell him what I'm doing, or like we talk things out. I didn't do anything. I just pulled out a chunk of change and invested into a craps game. But no, that was roulette. That wasn't even craps. I didn't have a chance.
Yeah, it's part of
I
the
was in
learning
red and then hit black.
process. Yeah, you'll make it back in some way, either through that
I'm
and
Yeah,
a few
I'll keep
weeks,
it
or
there. I'll
oh
keep it
yeah,
there, and I'm not going to pull it out at a loss because
nah, for
Doge
sure.
still has promise. Although I will say about Doge, it is an inflationary coin. It's a meme coin that has no top. And so they can continue to make more coins and more coins. And that's why in my mind, when I had gone into that, I'd gone in thinking, I'm totally happy that I'm getting out here. I really didn't regret that I got out, even when I watched it go up, but you have to work your way up to that because humans' emotions are something that you have to learn to control when you're playing with your finances. But you had some friends that had some questions. I don't know if I can answer them. I don't know.
Yes, one question. My good friend John from the UK says, time in the market rather than timing the market is a good rule of thumb for investing. Does this also apply for cryptos?
Yeah, absolutely. So just as a matter of course, getting in early. And again, it can be a gamble because you don't really know. The company doesn't have a proven track record. So that would be timing, or the timing of getting in Ethereum or Bitcoin or XRP or Cardano. So to slow that down, getting in that now is a more safer investment. So you're going to perhaps maybe not have the big gains, but it's a little bit more safe. And so and then being able to stay in there for the long run, knowing your exit plan and knowing that you've made a good choice. And it's there's nothing worse. And I did this in the beginning, BTT, which is still doing well, but I got in BTT, BitTorrents, a long time ago, like right at the beginning of my journey, which was last fall.
Mm-hmm.
And it did really well. And I got really excited. And so I cleaned out my BTT because at that point, I hadn't even learned how to read white papers. So I was really excited because it was like paying some bills and taking care of some stuff. And it was awesome. And BTT is still there. And it is a lot more for me if I was to go in and buy it again. And so I haven't reinvested in BTT, but yeah. So timing of the market and how long you stay in, these are all the decisions you should make prior to getting in any one of these coins, so that whatever decision that you make about it, that you're fine with it. Like, I'm fine with that
Mm-hmm.
BTT's gone, but you
So,
gotta be fine with it.
so do you use, you mentioned something about the platform that you're using. So, are you using any system, any software to help you with your uncovering some up and comer gold in cryptos, or are you just
Well,
using your mentor or gut
I have
feeling,
my
or?
mentors. I have my mentors to be able to like read the charts myself. Yeah, I get on the
Mhm.
trading view charts, and I'm able to, after about 6 months of trading, able to not like a professional, but I'm on my way to being able to read charts and use strategic knowledge based on what's happened before to what I might be able to predict going forward. Um, and so yeah, getting on YouTube videos, I don't really have any YouTube people that I follow. If there's something that I'm already interested in, then I'll go YouTube it and go, listen to different people talk about it. Um, my favorite YouTuber is this kid out of California named Bia Heza. Oh my gosh, I love
Oh,
him.
you really? Yeah, I know that guy. I was
Oh,
following his videos on e-commerce. I didn't know he was also doing Bitcoin. I mean,
he
cryptos
was
now.
he put together. He's mining it at the moment. He's like my daughter's age. My daughter's a little bit younger than her,
Yeah,
so she's a little entrepreneur too. So we were like, oh, Bia has a new video out. So that's one
he's
so
very
thing.
funny too. Yeah, yeah,
He is hilarious. Oh, his videos are so entertaining. And he's
I know.
brilliant. He buys real estate. I mean, he's like 19 years old, and now he's down in Texas buying $300,000 and $400,000 houses. And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, he did. He was in e-commerce and drop shipping. And
yeah. That's good. Okay. So he said you following a platform. Tell us more about your program that you're following and all that, because that's quite interesting.
so we have a university, and it starts like a 2-week syllabus. So takes you from not knowing anything at all, which is where I was, about trading, which is really ironic because I've always been very money motivated, and I've been in real estate since 99. And I had lots of friends, especially in my single days, that were traders, and they were all really wealthy. And it never even crossed my mind that I could be a trader. It wasn't a sexist thing, although most of the people the guys, they were men, they were guys that were traders. I lived in Chicago, so I had friends that were actually in the pit. I don't know how many people do that anymore, but we're actually in the pit at the Merck and the commodities thing. There's 2 different places in Chicago.
Yes.
And it just never crossed my mind to be a trader. I don't know. So But so we takes you from not knowing even what something called a pip is, which is just a measure in the market, and to being able to read the charts yourself and be able to trade currencies. We have classes on financial education, which is crazy for me being a college grad. I'm a college grad. I was pre-med, so I was biology, so everything was science for me. So although I was money motivated until I got into real estate, I never learned about finances. My kid's life's totally different now, so I didn't know. I've been in trouble financially more than once in my life by, living the good life, but not having the money to afford it, right? And so learning all about that. And then my passion is to help moms. So I've been blessed enough to be home for my kids. When they were tiny, I would take them in the little carrying the pumpkin basket on listing appointments with me and all that. Then when they started to become toddlers and jumping on the, $1 million listings bed, that's when I pretty much had to stop taking them with me. But I've been blessed enough to be home with my kids their whole life. And my passion has always been to be able to help moms who want to. I have a lot of friends that are career women, and that's fine. That's not who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to the moms that have a desire to be home for their kids, but still a desire to be able to afford gymnastics or travel soccer, or for their boys travel baseball or travel soccer. We live in a two family financial world, and we want a vacation and we want to eat healthy food and take that burden of finances off their back. So I've been trying to help moms a lot, and
It's beautiful.
there's it's so funny, a gentleman just joined me and he's like, so does this mean I'm in the Moms Wealth Club now? I'm like, no. But he's learning everything with us. And so, but we
That's
have
awesome.
we have live training calls. They do New York session live every day, Asian session every evening, and
Oh, wow.
London. I get up for the London session. So we have the crypto calls, we have training calls, we have study hall 2 days a week, for like 2 hours, so you can just ask questions. We have pardon me, we have 2 trade review classes a week. We have pop-up classes. We have Sunday market outlook, where they'll look at the charts with you and talk about all the currencies, which include the cryptos and all of that. So if you've got certain brokers, you can trade the cryptos, as I mentioned before. And so, yeah,
That's
indices
awesome.
for Nadex and binary. I'm just now getting into
Cool.
my binary options, and wow, that's a fun game. That's a little bit more like gambling, but there's a lot of money to be made in binary. So it's a whole
What's
new
the
world.
what's the name of the program? What's the website? So if someone is interested to check it out.
So they could go to the momswealthclub.com.
Okay, I get it. Okay. So is that something that you started, or you're part of it?
Nope, it's a big company that we pre-launched in September, and then hard launched October 1st. By November 1st, we had over 45,000 members all over
Wow.
the world. So we have mentors that are helping people trade, all different times. We've got, some classes start at 11 o'clock at night, my time. There's 3 o'clock in the morning. We've had, different people that have done classes and stuff like that. So and everything's recorded. So you've got the whole university aspect, which is all of the classes in there, but then all the live recordings that continue to build onto it. Um, if you miss it, it's all recorded in there. It's a little hard um, when they're doing like calling signals. If you miss a class, you miss the signal. But we do have a signals channel. So as we've been on the phone, I've noticed they've called out a couple of signals, which is, or maybe they're calling out how many pips they're up. Oh, here's a one for a market execution. It's a weird time of day to have a market execution, but this came in 20 minutes ago. But
Nice.
a lot of pending orders and stuff. But it's opened up a whole new world, which is what brought me into this cryptocurrency world.
Cool. Awesome. That's wonderful. Interesting. I'm gonna check that out myself as well. So, what are your thoughts on dollar cost averaging when it comes to investing in cryptos?
So dollar cost averaging, meaning that trying to figure out what where you want to put your money, or
It basically dollar cost averaging is regardless of the price. Each month you buy, you buy, you buy, and over time you have a whole bunch that just adds up. So you don't look at the price, you just go in for the long term, and you just, let's say this month I'm gonna buy some cryptos. Let's like sorry, some Bitcoin, like 55,000. I'm not gonna buy the whole coin. I'm just gonna, let's say I put 500, and then next each month put 500 regardless of the price. Do you
right?
think
I
that's
don't
that's a
care.
that,
I don't care if it's $25. I mean, I think
mm,
that's a savings plan,
yeah.
especially if you're, like looking at a stable coin like Bitcoin or something like that.
Hmm.
But pick something that you're either going to spend that $25 a week or $500 a month, and you're not going to know where it went, or
Oh
you're
yeah, tell me
going
about it.
to be investing it. And I do think watching the charts a little bit is important. Paying attention. You are investing into these companies, so paying attention to what the companies are doing.
Hmm.
Dogecoin aside, paying
Yeah.
attention to what they're doing is important. Just like if you were investing in stocks, you want to know what is going on with the stocks. And that's another thing that a lot of people are into investing in. And I know there's the whole Wall Street bets, and that's another good coin. Got into that the day
Hmm.
it went. I
Which
can't
one?
even find it online. Wall Street bets. I can't find the website online, because when you go there, it says this is a joke token, but it is not a joke. It's on. I can see how much it's making me. So I had to figure out. I was just looking at that, going, where can I look at what they're doing? But I got into that, and I did listen to the guy that actually started Wall Street Bets, and I don't think he's with them anymore. He kind of gave it's his blessing, and this is all cool. So he's not in on that token. It's a token, not a coin, but um, he's talking with them, so helping them,
You
whatever.
mentioned
And
something. You mentioned token and coin. What's the difference between the two?
um, that's a really good question, and it's not really one that I know the answer to. So I know Bitcoin is like a coin because it's a real thing. And so tokens, I know that like there's something called non-fungible tokens, NFTs. And so that's like something on the blockchain. The token is the thing on the blockchain. Uh, NFTs are going to blow your mind if you don't know what they are. They are like, you could have a cartoon and you put a
Hmm.
token inside of it. It becomes one of a kind. And people are spending, somebody just spent $19,000 on basically a pixel, or not a GIF, but like a computer picture of a cat the other day.
Wow,
Some guy spent $1.6 million in NFT land. So there's all these
that's crazy.
NFT worlds that are coming up. I just heard about this thing called Etherland, where you can go in and you can buy like the Giza um, pyramid, or you can go buy it's like Monopoly. Like I was never a gamer. I missed that. I
Remember,
missed that
like
world.
a few weeks ago, you posted something about Earth 2.0, and as a joke, I just sent you a link to a website that's actually selling small portions of land anywhere in the world for like $10, $20, whatever. I could not believe it. So that's
It's
basically,
actually, it could be more than that. Like
yeah.
literally 1 point some million dollars, this guy bought some land. It is not real. It's like, I guess people used to play Sims or
Yes,
collect,
yes.
collect
That's the next
Pokemon
level.
cards.
Yeah, next level. Yeah.
That's weird. So that's a token. It's something that's inside that thing. So maybe, you know, I don't know. And you know what? I had that on my list of something to research and didn't. We have class tomorrow. I think I'm going to ask him, except he doesn't like me. Our master class guy doesn't like us to ask elementary classes. I'll probably have to wait till Sunday to ask my intro class.
Yeah,
What
that's
is the difference? So
I just yeah, I'll look it up. But yeah, it's interesting because they're basically bringing video games to different new meaning. Like what we used to just play for fun, now we can actually spend actual real cash on it. And of course, you have this company earth2.0.com. You can buy any plot of land in the world, and depending on how valuable it is, of course, it's going to be more expensive. You want to buy something in a more valuable place than in the middle of the desert. So
people have always been collecting things, like,
mhm,
grandma used to collect the Hummel statues, or,
yeah,
uh, like people have always collected things. So I guess now they're collecting digital things. Oh, and then
oh yeah,
there could be like playing cards. So like
Oh
you could get
yes.
this one like GIF or GIF, I think it's GIF, of like LeBron James making a shot. And then that's going for like $200 just for you to watch this over and
But in case you're selling gifts, what about copyright and IP infringement? Does that even come
over.
into picture or no?
Yes, they can obviously be copied, but you would own the one that would have that token in it. So it's like I can own a Picasso and it can be a real Picasso. Or I could have a copy of the Picasso. So you can't probably keep people from, or people buy NFT artwork where you could have like a huge frame and then it would have a pixelated picture inside of it. Now I could have that very same thing in my house because I'm a Marshalls girl, right? But my Nordstrom friend, she might have the real one with the real token in it. So that's the way that they can differentiate whether it's real or not.
That's
It's the
crazy.
signature
So
matches
you
it.
can take anything and make a GIF of it and put a token and sell it.
Yeah,
Anything,
and
anyone.
there's websites where you could actually do that. You could go create your own right now today.
The one thing I would like to create, that's something maybe funny, but I would like to create a GIF of Biden falling off the stairs and then trying to put a token on it. I'm sure that's going to go for a lot of money.
I saw like a meme the other day where they were doing Mario Brothers with him, and they would go like,
Yeah, falling like crazy. Yeah, that would be. What's the name of the website that you can make your GIFs and put a token to it?
I don't know, but I think Dr. Google knows.
Oh yeah, Uncle G. Yeah, I will check Uncle G.
Uncle G. Yeah. So I don't know. I get so much stuff in my head every single day that, but I definitely know that there are sites out there that you can make your own
Yeah,
NFTs, you can make your own artwork. So if you're an artist, you can create some beautiful thing online and put a token in it and sell it. So this is a new thing for e-com people, right? Because you don't actually have to then go to the post office. You
yeah.
can sell NFTs like
NFT and
ebook.
e-com. That's amazing. I'm an e-com guy. That's something
I
that's
know,
I
I
will
know.
definitely
That's what
explore more. Okay, so NFTs and e-com.
absolutely.
That's awesome. Learning new things every day. Thank you for that. Okay, I'll definitely explore that. So let's see. I have a few bunch of questions that were submitted here. Let me see which ones, because I want to keep things going in a smooth way.
I
So
know
you
we've been
said you
having,
have a system and a software, but how do you identify to know when the market is making a big turn, either it's bottoming, topping, or halving? Do you have any criteria or triggers that you look for, or how
so
do
you mean having like how they have Bitcoins.
like for example, the market, for example, goes up and sometime that, hey, this is the time to sell or the time to buy. And I guess that's part of knowing how to read the charts. But
Yeah.
more specifically, is there any specific indicators or triggers that you're looking for to know, hey, this is time for me either to get out or
There
get
are.
in, or
There are, and that would be part of trading. So some of my big ones I used
Mhm,
for, I read candlesticks. So engulfing candle might
mhm,
suggest if I'm above, I don't use a lot of indicators, but I like the 50 EMA, the moving average and exponential moving average. So if it's above the 50 and I've got a bullish engulfing, I might set up a block to look like where I might set a pending order depending on where my next resistance level
mhm.
would be, or the opposite if it was below the 50 and it was a bearish engulfing. Or yeah, I mean that's all just learning how to read the charts, and it's amazing how simple it really is. Like there's patterns. There are patterns like a W and an M, and something that
Mhm.
looks like head and shoulders, which looks like somebody looking over a fence, can make you millions of dollars.
Wow.
And just looking back at the charts, looking at trends, pulling back and looking at the chart. It's a little bit tougher with um, with cryptos because it's new,
So
but you can
volatile.
do short term, like really short, catch a move like this on the chart if you're actually trading it, not buying them themselves, but trading it, and make a lot of money on that. And the cool thing about learning how to make a chart is you pick your own amount of money, your own lot size. So When I was learning how, once I went from demo account, I did the demo account for quite a while and then went on to the real world, I was trading a penny, or 10 cents. And, I could move 20 things. And I liked UJ, which is the US dollar, and the Japanese yen, which is a slower pair, Australian dollar and the US dollar is the slowest pair. So it takes a while for it to move. And it can move really, really far, but it's only costing me like 10 cents or making me 10 cents or whatever. But once I can do that with 10 cents, I can do that with thousands of dollars, right? Because it's the very
So
same
confident,
pattern.
yeah.
In the charts, if you
Same
look at
principles,
them,
yeah.
they're basically just human nature. The candlesticks that we study and that we use and all traders use when you're looking at charts like that, those are candlesticks, were created like in the 5th century from a rice trader in Japan or something. I can't remember what
Wow.
century, but a really long time ago. Human nature has not changed. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so much more simple than we thought. So if we're talking trading, that's one thing. But I can also watch the charts a little bit to figure out what coins are going to do, and to whether I want to buy them or not. Like I will sit and one of the way that we pay for our membership is through Bitcoin, which is really fun because it's introducing, it's like baptism by fire. You're introducing people right away. Boom, you're going to come into this world. Let's do it. I'm going to show you how to get on Cash App right now and buy your Bitcoin and transfer it right over here and use the QR code and get your, like, it's like, oh my goodness, but it's so simple, but it seems so daunting. But I've been sitting there, I've been watching the chart going, okay, hold on, it's printing I don't do red candles because red is aggressive. And I don't want to think about it like losing. So I have green and purple candles. So I'm like, okay, it's printing a purple candle. Just hold on a minute. Let's see. We're not going to send this out to the candle goes way down because then we'll send it out or buy it or whatever. So even things like that, we use it in everyday life. It's fun.
So when you say candle, you mean on the chart as the shape of a candle?
So the chart where you see these lines that go up and
Mm-hmm.
down,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those are each individual little bars.
Oh, it's a candle.
They're
Okay.
called candlesticks. And then they have wicks. So you have a wick on the top and a wick on the bottom, and then the candle, the bar
I
itself.
see.
So you can tell if there's a really long wick on the top, that's a lot of downward pressure. There's a lot of sellers that are pushing that down. So even if you have a little bit bigger bar and it's a green candle, that you're going to pay attention because the sellers are trying to get some control. So you can read the wicks, you can read the bars, you can read the patterns, and it's so simple, but it's like learning a foreign language, but so is crypto.
That's interesting. I definitely have to look into that. Okay. What does your crystal ball tell you about the overall crypto markets for the next, say, 1 to 3 months and the next 6 months until the end of the year?
I can tell you that it's not going to go away, that now is the time to learn it. What I consider this is kind of like the 1800s California gold rush. This could be the, late, 1980s California Silicon Valley rush, 1990s or whatever. Like, this is it. There's very few periods in the lives of human beings that there is an opportunity for the average person to completely set up and change the legacy of their entire family. And that's happening right now. And 98% of the people have no clue. They took their stimmy check and they bought a new flat screen, or they were so broke they had to buy new tires for their car, because a lot of us most Americans, at least I can speak for Americans, I know you're Canadian, but you guys are a lot like us. Most people, and that numbers is in the 90-some%, do not have enough money that if they had an emergency that cost them $1,000, that they would be able to take care of it right now. And that breaks my heart. And that's with moms working. That's with 2 families, or 2 people working. That's
There's a popular quote that says most people live paycheck to paycheck, and most people are just one paycheck away from being on the street. And unless, I heard also that, what was it, 50 or 80% of people have less than $1,000 savings in their bank account.
I think it's probably 80, and it might be higher than that.
That's scary.
Right now. And it is the truth. It is what's going on. And it's got to stop. And by you having me on this podcast and reaching your audience, and you having the curiosity to know about, and you talking to your friends, And we're changing lives because you're going to start with your own, and then you're going to affect one other who might affect one other. And for the people that are meant to hear this message, the ones with eyes to see and ears to hear, they're going to grab onto this, whether they, do it with you, or whether they, come and the Mom's Wealth Club is the name of it. If you're not a mom, it doesn't matter, because most of them are men. I mean, whatever. Like I said, there were but wherever you get your information, make sure you get it from a good source, and that
It's
it
key.
comes to you from a good reference, because there's a lot of scammers out there. But
Oh,
where
yeah.
are we headed? There's a lot of people that are going to tell you a lot of things. The truth is, nobody really knows. But we can go look at some of the people that have track records. One of the other really important two more YouTube channels that I do follow is Stansberry Research, and I follow Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert
Okay.
Kiyosaki.
So what was the first
And
one?
Stansberry Research.
Stansberry Research. Okay.
I like listening to their
And Rich Dad,
financial.
Poor Dad. Okay, Rich Dad. Yeah, Robert
Yeah,
Kiyosaki. Okay.
and
Okay.
because he's big on Bitcoin. And one thing that you got to remember is that, at least in the US, any transaction that you have with cryptocurrency, they might not know what we're doing right now, but it's a taxable transaction. And so, I mean, like Al Capone felony type like if you have to report it. So I know that there's like crypto.com card out there. It's an exchange, and they have their own card, and so you can put you have to stake for it. So you have to put a certain amount of your fiat currency in, and you buy their crow, which is their crypto.com's digital currency, stake it for like 6 months, and you make interest on it. After that, it becomes a prepaid debit card, and then you get paid back. Like a lot of people belong to Costco, or they get 2% back for every transaction at Costco or gas stations or whatever. Or you might have an American Airlines Citibank card. You know how they give you money back and all that. Well, this gives you back in crow, but then you could take that crow and buy Bitcoin and stuff like that. So if you're traveling a lot, to use something like that instead of a credit card is huge. I know SafeMoon is coming out with their own wallet. There's rumors that they're going to have a credit card. They have a long way to go. They're literally like 67 days old or something, 68 days old. But that's another way to think about what is the future. So wherever we're going to be, whether Bitcoin is going to be 100 grand by December, whether it's going to be 1 million in 5 years, or whether Ethereum's going to be 8 grand by next 2025 or whatever, I don't know. But what I do know is that countries are trying to come up with their own currency,
China. Yeah.
and the US is hiring hackers because they want to be able to get into our wallets and see what we have, because they don't believe us that we're not telling the truth. And I'm thinking a lot of people don't
Really?
know that they have. Yeah, they
Wow.
just announced that they want hackers for the IRS. I mean, it's
That's
so like,
crazy. It's beyond
yeah.
criminal. Yeah.
And then one thing that people say, I've heard this before, well, Bitcoin has been used like on the Silk Road or due to bad things.
Well,
You know
so
what?
has cash.
I go see if your dollar bill has a little cocaine in it, because I'm
So has
guessing
cash. Cash.
that.
Cryptos have been around for less than a decade, but cash has, has been around for millennia. So
Yeah.
are we gonna forbid cash as well? Come on.
Yeah, the U.S. dollar's been used in more drug trade and human trafficking trade than anything. So I don't buy that one.
Speaking
I
of
think that's
taxes, I was just watching the news and I heard that President Biden is trying to implement capital gain taxes to double from 20 to 40% starting in June. How is that going to affect the Bitcoin and crypto market? Is it going to destroy it and kill it?
you know what? This is how I look at that. They're trying to take our money, so we got to make more. And
Mhm.
some people are saying, "Well, I don't want to make all this money because I have to pay more taxes." Even before we talk about that
Mhm.
craziness, um, if I'm having to pay a lot of taxes, that means I'm making a lot of money. And so, the other option is for me to go get a Mexican passport with my husband and just like be a Mexican. So
I think
I don't know.
for people that have that option, that would be probably the wisest thing. Even me myself, I've been as I told you last time, I've been a nomad all my life. I lived in 10 countries on 4 continents. The past 5 years, I was in Asia and Hong Kong and other places. And when I came back to Canada last year, honestly, I don't recognize this country. I don't recognize it. The laws, the politics. I said, not to mention the crappy weather here for half the year. I mean, now it's May and it's still cold here.
Mhm.
The cost of living is through the roof. You know, it's insane here in Toronto. So, and I mean, it's a no-brainer for me that hey, it doesn't make any sense for me to be here. I can live like a king for half a third of what I'm spending here. Like just last month, I was going through my thing. I was spending $3,000 a month without leaving the house, just on groceries and stuff like that. Whereas
Mhm.
that's not even including rent or mortgage or anything. Whereas for example, in a beautiful place like Bali in Indonesia, in paradise, I can have a private villa with a private swimming pool for like $500 a month, and I can live
And
for
if
two
you're
thousand
making money
dollars, like
online,
pretty
we can do it.
amazing.
We're doing
Sorry.
it with, you're even making money online with e-com, or now you might get into NFT e-com
That's a
or
goal. That's a
crypto or
goal.
whatever. We a whole new world opens up to us for sure. One thing about US is that they're saying that even if you're a US citizen and you live somewhere else, you still have to pay taxes here. Like, I don't know if they're going to make us give
But
up our US
you guys have
citizenship.
one thing that is good, which is you don't pay taxes for what, for the first $130,000 of annual income. We don't have that in Canada.
We
Yes.
pay taxes. I pay taxes.
No. If you live outside of the US for
Oh,
if you spend less than 30 days per year in the US, you don't pay any tax on the first $130,000 or something like that that you make
yeah.
worldwide. Anything above that, then it's taxable. At
We'll
least
see
you
if he
guys have that. We Canadians, we don't even have that option.
We'll see if he changes that too. Because right now we've got like, I don't know how many states, all the way from Louisiana all the way up the eastern seaboard, where they've hacked into. They can't hack other things, but they were able to actually hack into our gas pipeline. So now
What?
there's no gas down there. They gave the first
Wow.
of all, they quit. We were energy independent. I shouldn't even get into this. We were energy independent for the first time in in our
Wow.
long time, and then that went away. And now the pipelines that we did have running are now not running.
There is some very powerful and nasty people who are trying to destroy our countries.
Our world.
Yes, at every level. And they
Mhm.
need to be stopped ASAP.
And then, so what we have right now is we have decentralized finance. And so some of these currencies are not.
Wow.
And so some of them will be working with the governments. Governments want their own currencies. China's trying to start one right now. Uh,
Yep.
that's another way to control their money, because if they don't like you or your beliefs, they can cut it off. Another thing, whatever your beliefs are, whatever your feelings on it, I don't want to bring up any things that offends anybody, but let's get past that for a minute. But I want to tell you one thing that Bank of America did. January 6th, there was some excitement at our US Capitol here. I'm not going to get into the politics. I think you might know mine. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm going to tell you what Bank of America did. Bank of America gave the FBI the information of people that were in or around the Capitol buying food, buying gas, buying hotel rooms, or whatever, using their banking system, whether it was with a debit or a credit card or whatever. Now, that right there to me is so shocking,
It's a breach of
regardless of what,
privacy. Yeah,
that there has to be another way. There has to be another way. And
definitely.
there's more places that are now accepting different coins, whether it's Dogecoin or Bitcoin, or more places are going to start accepting crypto. So to get into a decentralized finance system, which our central banks do not want, and they're going to come back kicking and screaming, they're going to make examples out of people. So look at your taxes. It doesn't matter how much money you make on this stuff, or what you there was a Rich Dad Poor Dad episode about 2 months ago. It's called Bitcoin and taxes. He interviewed, or something, you'll be able to find it, but he interviewed a guy that talks about taxes. It's kind of a DIY guy. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't think they do your taxes for you, but he said every transaction with Bitcoin, and I'm assuming the other coins, is a taxable transaction. And
Wow.
that's how they got Al Capone. So don't play with them, just make our money and keep our nose to the grindstone, pay to Caesar what is Caesar's. And, even if Caesar's ripping us off and make more money, because that's our only
Yeah.
choice.
There is different ways to vote. One is to earn, one is with your wallet, one is with your feet. And for me, honestly, a time has come for me to vote with my feet and go where laws were more sane, people are more normal, and the environment is just more normal. Because here, as I told you, after 5 years abroad, I cannot recognize this country. I cannot recognize anything. The values are gone. They're trying to corrupt the minds of our children in schools with I don't want to get into that, but you know what I'm talking about. So
I
it's
brought my kid home right when I saw it happening. I'm getting ready to graduate my first. This is her. She came out before 5th grade, and my other one never went to school because I saw what they were starting, and now it's just absolutely insane.
yeah. Even here, I really feel bad for my younger nephews and cousins and relatives that are going to school or college. They completely destroy the experience of college, especially if you're a guy. They completely destroy that. Now we have to be always, walking on eggshells. You cannot do anything, cannot say anything. That's not a way to live, because the experience of college is one of the defining moments of a life for all of us. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. But now they're trying to destroy that, trying to destroy the fabric of society, of family, of everything. And that's something that, you know what, it's ironic, because we in our Western countries we call the developed countries, but when you look at the laws and the politics, it looks completely crazy. Whereas the so-called countries that are developing, they're much more sane, much more normal, much more traditional. And when I see that, wow, for me, and when I talk about that with people here in Canada that haven't had the same worldwide experience as me, they don't believe it. They think that I'm crazy, but
Well,
it's not the
they don't
same.
they don't have as much power in these smaller developing countries, so
Yeah.
that there's not as much people trying to get that power, and then
No.
pure power corrupts, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. But again, this is not a politics. So we can talk about it off the record, but because I have some very strong views on that, I'm sure you do too. And yeah, so let's say one question I had from friends is, let's say someone is just starting out brand new into cryptos and investing, and they just want to learn the system, and they want to start with say $1,000 just to learn. And if they get burned, that's going to affect them. How would you recommend them to spread their investment across the major coins? Would you recommend? I mean, would it be wiser for them to go into the main stable coins, like say Bitcoin, Ethereum, or would it be better for them if they want to be more aggressive to go into altcoins like Cardano and whatever else is coming up? So, what would be your general advice for someone like that just wants to learn the system? I mean, learn while earning in the process.
Good question. So Cardano is actually also, I would consider that more of a stable coin. I think some of the
Okay.
alt ones are, um, I wrote a few of them down. Let's see where I put them, because you were asking me. So Safe Moon or Hoj, Lightning, Safe Star, the
Mm,
Shiba Inu is just wants to be the Dogecoin killer, Polkadot, XLM. So those are kind of some of the ones that I just went off at the top of my head. FEG, the Feed Every Gorilla one I mentioned earlier. um, and some of the, so where would you start? I would say it's really up to you, and you don't even have to start with $1,000. It's you can start with a lot less than that. So if you have $1,000 that you can lose, what if you started with 300 and 400 or five, just something to kind of see what happens and how you buy them. I mean, some of these ones that I'm talking about here, you can't go to an exchange and buy them. Some of them you have to go buy Ethereum and then come in over here and swap it out on Uniswap and then come over and put it in another wallet, or the ones that have all the zeros behind the point, they're not on exchanges yet. So you might have to go buy BNB over at crypto.com and then transfer that into Trust Wallet and transfer it over to BNB Smart chain, and then take that over to Pancake Swap and then pull that back, transfer, trade that for, Safe Moon, or I think Hoj is on the Ethereum block, or Lightning and Safe Star. some of those. I think even the Wall Street Bets one was also one that had to be traded. So it can be really, really confusing. So getting a good mentor that tells you how to do those steps and where to find them and make sure that you have the right contract number. Here's a big thing that I will tell you. There's no, oops, I didn't mean to do that. So if you buy something with your credit card and you don't like it, you can call your bank and they're going to help you try to get the money back, right? Or if I buy today, I bought something on Amazon, bought a computer on Amazon, and then I found one somewhere. It was within 2 hours, and I just went in and canceled the transaction, right? Because I found it, I could go pick it up tomorrow around here. I don't have to wait till 3 days or whatever. Amazon was gonna be longer than that till next week, I guess. So if you send a coin to a different address, like if I'm going to send you Bitcoin and I leave off the end of your address is Q and I forget the Q, it's going to leave my wallet, but I'm not going to get it back. It doesn't matter if it's somebody's wallet or if it's just the ether. I'm not ever going to get it back. So you have to be really, really careful when you're playing with money, especially if you're doing different swaps and stuff like that. And so exchanges make it really easy. I can actually like go on Voyager right now and I
What
can say,
app, for example, what apps or what exchange or platform would you recommend for someone new to get started? Like the one I signed up for, it's a Canadian one. It's called Newton, but I'm sure there must be a ton of others available. So for example, if someone is listening from the US or from anywhere else in the world, what app or platform would you recommend them that is safe and good to use?
so for the US people, and I don't think it's just US, but I don't know if it's Canada, we have one called Voyager. I actually
Mhm.
have a referral code that if you wanted to put it on here, you could get
Yes, please
$25
send
of
that to me. Send me the link after. I'll put it in the show notes after.
you can get $25 of free Bitcoin, which is how I kind of started. So that is actually an exchange. So I can go in here and I can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Doge, Cardano.
It's
Oh
okay.
gosh, I always call it ADA because I don't even want to say that anymore. I can buy USDC, which is
Hmm.
the USD coin. I can buy USDT, which is the USD Tether. I can buy Link, which is Chainlink, Polkadot, Uniswap, XLM, which is Stellar Lumens. That might be one to look at. Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. I mean, Luna. That's a good one. I mean, maybe got to do your own research. Tron. I mean, it goes on and on. Neo. I can
All
go
of
in
them.
and just say it connects. And one thing I like about Voyager is they have it was free. It seems like it might still be free to actually buy the coins. I'm not sure if they've changed that. I haven't noticed a big
Hmm.
difference. I think that it's free to buy it, but I connect it to my bank account. And that's another thing. You have to have a bank that will let you do this. So I do have a trust, like a credit union that I use. And but to do transactions like this, my credit union is too small. They're not going to go for that. They don't go
Hmm.
for that. No, 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 no can do. But I can hook this up to Bank of America, and Bank of America is fine. So I pull the money out of my Bank of America, but it's through an ACH. That takes about 7 business days. But what they will let me do in here is I can put the money in here right now. They'll say they have it, even though it hasn't come out of my bank account yet, and they'll let me buy whatever I want immediately.
Oh,
They
okay.
won't let me change it out of here until they get that money, unless I have enough other stuff to cover it. If I have enough other stuff to cover it, then they'll let me send. And there is now. So when you're first starting, you might not be able to send it right away. Crypto.com, if you guys can get that. Like there's even places in New York where you can't do crypto. You can't buy it. You can't use these. Crypto.com, I also have a $25 USD referral link. That one's good. You can buy different ones on here. Of course, there's the big ones like Ethereum, Dogecoin, and XRP, but they have different. And they just did get the listing for Shiba Inu. It's another dog meme coin.
Okay.
But that
Wow.
one's got a lot of zeros. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I can't read it. I need glasses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has 4 zeros before the 3. That's what it's going for
Wow.
already.
Oh
When you
yeah,
can
Shiba
find
Inu.
one that is hot
Yeah.
and you can get it
Mm-hmm.
down like that, that's good. Maybe if it were,
Wow, awesome.
you never know.
You know,
So
one question I've had and I'm wondering is how easy is it to create and launch on coin? For example, I love to see a coin. As I said at the start of this call, this podcast, probably gonna start a new podcast called Crypto with a Heart. So what I would love to have is coin my own coin, like coin with a heart, like for just like a normal crypto. And each time that you buy or sell whatever, people can get the option of donating whatever they feel comfortable with to any cause that they're passionate about, something like that. So I wonder how feasible that would be and how easy or difficult it is to start a coin, maybe getting together with a bunch of people and just getting a coin like that, like coin with a heart, for example, because I'm passionate with doing good here as well, and a lot of people as well. So is am I dreaming here, or is that something that can actually be possible?
I'm a dreamer. We're entrepreneurs, so anybody can create your own coin. Then it just becomes how do you get it out there, get the trust factor, and what are you looking for with
Hmm.
your coin. So anyone can make a coin
Okay, good.
or an NFT.
I will definitely dig into NFT, because NFT plus e-commerce, that could be a dynamite combo.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Love talking with you because I'm learning a lot from this, because again I'm also very new. Um, is there uh, any podcast that you follow on cryptos that you recommend, or?
Just kind of I jumped the gun on that. So I do like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then that
Mhm.
Stansberry research. Let me see. I do follow the AMAs on Safe Moon. So when
Mhm.
I go into the telegrams, I go in and see what they've got going on the coins that I have, the ones that have them in there. And then if they're doing something like the Cardano guy,
Yeah.
he's on YouTube, and so he keeps the public. You really, that if you want this to come up, you need to keep the public alert to what you're doing. If
Mhm.
you want the value of your coin to go up, you have to be doing something. And a lot of that's based on community, how excited your community is. So Twitter's a good place to kind of hear what's going on. And people are a lot of crazies on Twitter though. They're
I
kind
know.
of crazy on Telegram too, but they're not quite as crazy on Telegram as they are on Twitter, because the Telegram are the people that really want to be there. Twitter is just anybody. So you get
Yeah.
stuff that's like, oh, go away.
Yeah, I don't use much Twitter,
Twitter.
but
Yeah. I
even
do get
Telegram.
what's going on, but yeah.
No, I don't like that. No, anyways, but yeah. So, do you have any parting tips for anyone that's looking to get into cryptos at this time? Is this, and they're wondering, they're hesitant and they're not sure. Is this the right time to get in, or should they wait, or what would be your thoughts and advice for someone looking to get into cryptos right now?
I would say it's like building a tree. When's the best time to build a tree? 20 years ago or today?
Absolutely, makes
Yeah.
sense.
So,
Cool,
I mean,
awesome.
obviously, crypto wasn't around 20 years ago, but 20 years ago, we should have been learning about finances.
Yes. Do you have your own podcast?
I do not.
Why not? You
Okay.
definitely should.
So you know what you can do? You can edit this and say, yes, I do. It's called the Mom's Wealth Club, because I'm supposed to be starting one. And so then, yes, I'm supposed to be starting one.
Seriously, you should. I can talk to you about after later, but you should definitely do one, not only to educate your audience about cryptos, but also on your coaching program. That would be a no brainer. Absolutely, and it doesn't take much to get started. Just like me, just get like a YouTube channel, Facebook page. If you don't want to bother with the tech side of subtracting the audio from the file, you can do that later. But for now, just get a video, YouTube and Facebook, and there you go. And
I
you
have
can,
a funnel hacker for a daughter, remember? So all of that could be
yeah,
hired at very cheaply, like room and board.
yeah, you can bring your super moms from your group and talk about them, about cryptos and all that, and that's a great way for you as well to establish yourself as a go to go in the mom's audience. That's a no brainer.
So yes, I've been thinking about it. So that's for sure.
Okay, awesome. Well, Lynn, we can talk for hours and hours, but we need to wrap this up because it's been almost 2 hours now. And yeah, so once again, immense pleasure talking to you as always. We'll definitely keep in touch. Keep me, I mean, and yeah, so and if someone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to find you?
They can email me at lynn@themomswealthclub.com or go over to themomswealthclub.com/crypto, and you'll be added into the newsletter list and keep you up to date on podcasts and different things that are going on, different things that I'm doing. So I'm sure some of these things might work for somebody else too.
Thank you very much, Lynn. It's been a pleasure once again, and have a great one. Talk to you later. Take care. Good
Thank
night. Ciao.
you.
Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye bye.